Tim Ewart joins us now as we are getting closer to this historic funeral of Elizabeth II. The crowds, which have been gathering since before dawn, are standing by to see something extraordinary, including members of her family, including her grandchildren, taking part in a procession of her coffin. As you know, there are dignitaries, heads of state, and normal people from all the way around the world. Most importantly, you at home, and we do appreciate you being here. And royal correspondent Tim Ewart joins us as he has all week. Now, Tim, as the Abbey is going to be filling rather shortly, we know there's going to be a President of the United States, a First Lady in Joe and Jill Biden, other world leaders we're going to see there. What would you be looking for as an eagle-eyed man who could name all of these people, but I won't get you to do it right now?
Well, I think the seating plan will be quite interesting because there are one or two nations going there that are at odds with each other, most notably, of course, the two Koreas. North Korea has an ambassador in London now and has had since 2003. He's coming, and also a representative of the South Korean government, I think, in fact, their prime minister. That's going to be a tricky one. Israel and Iran are both represented at the funeral. That's going to be awkward. So British diplomats have been putting their thinking caps on and deciding who exactly will sit where and what the order of precedence will be. It's also quite interesting, I'm sure we've talked about this a lot, to see how and when everybody will arrive. We know that the President of the United States will be coming in his own armoured car, the famous Beast. Everybody else gets to come on a bus. Some of them are said to be unhappy about that. The Emperor of Japan, for example, is perfectly happy to get on the bus. Others have been a little reluctant. One of the more interesting to me people from foreign governments who will be here or representing foreign governments is Olena Zelenska, who's the wife of the president of Ukraine. And it would be very interesting to know what sort of an opportunity she's had to talk to other world leaders about giving further support to Ukraine in the war against Russia.
We saw on that point, Tim, we saw her have a private meeting with the new Princess of Wales, the former Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton. Just going back to the world leaders that are there, and you mentioned some troublesome countries in terms of seating arrangements. Were you surprised that the Chinese delegation wasn't headed up by President Xi?
No, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm not well enough up on Chinese politics to be able to answer that. They are sending, as I understand it, the vice president. So they are represented here. Some of these decisions have been tricky. Russia is not invited, for example. Putin will not be here. Another absentee is going to be the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia. There's been a lot of back and forth in the media about whether or not he should come based on his alleged involvement in the murder of a Saudi journalist a few years back. In the end, he has decided himself not to come, and Saudi Arabia will be represented by another member of their royal family.
Tim, I'm going to put you on the spot, and I'm going to use your connections here. What are you hearing behind the scenes this week? We've seen a pretty good united front. Probably the only misstep thus far was some conversations about the staffing in and around in and around Clarence House. But give me an idea about what you're hearing behind the scenes about how things are working, how the transition is going.
Well, I think the most interesting thing in all this, and I wish I could tell you that I've been able to speak to the principals involved, and sadly neither Prince William nor Prince Harry have been texting me this week, but I think really once we've got past today, which is a solemn and ceremonial occasion in which the royal family will be united, all walking together, I think the issue of the future of Prince Harry and Meghan, his wife, is going to be very interesting, because earlier on we were talking about reconciliation. Look, there was the joint walkabout in Windsor a few days ago. But since then, some details have emerged which suggest that things have been pretty tense behind the scenes. The whole issue about whether Harry could wear his uniform, and then when his uniform arrives from Buckingham Palace so that he could wear it for the lying in state vigil. What does he find? So, the emblem of the Queen's initials have been stripped from the shoulder of that uniform because he did not fulfill the role of being part of the working royal family. The word is he took that as an insult, and you know, to be honest, I'm not surprised. And then there are questions about how did he get to Balmoral for the Queen's death? When was he told? Apparently, a long time after the Prime Minister, for example. So there's a lot of stuff bubbling behind the scenes there, and royal watchers, I think, as I say, will turn to that. And my sense is that Harry and Meghan will be going back to the United States to carry on their lives, really without being part of this family formally going forward.
Well, Tim, consider yourself booked for next week because it sounds like you're going to have a pretty good story there.